lady. We're back. You're tuning in to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show on the planet, or as producer Joe says, on the internet. You're watching Daily Dive. It is Friday, January 24th, 2025. I'm your host, Michael Carvelis in Dayton, Georgia. Producer Joe is behind the scenes in 5-0, number one in the unified standings, Bandit Land, New York. And our social media manager, Bigo, is also back there, and I'll find his coordinates later on. We are live on 12 on Sports via YouTube, X, and Roku. Subscribe to the 12 on Sports channel on YouTube for other great shows and live sports. On today's awesome show, as Season 3 rolls on, we're going to talk to Professor Adam, affectionately known as Adam Levi, as we ask him about all 4 games this weekend. I'll hold it down for a betting preview in the B block. And then, of course, stay tuned for Pick'em, Mike and producer Joe's picks and best bets. And by the way, there's going to be bonus content at the end because producer Joe said I could. So we're going to premiere a new original content chopped up by Bobby Cuts, so we're very excited for that. Without further ado, it is time to welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, Professor Adam Levi. Sir, how have you been?
I'm very good, Mike, and I love to be called a legend. That is a word throw around in my household in regards to me as well, so nice to hear that it's picking up outside of the Levy household.
I love it. By the way, I forgot to mention we're presented by tickets.12onsports.com. That's not very fair to the boys at 12 on Sports. But you are Professor Adam, found on Twitter at Adam Levi LAX, and on Instagram, Adam_Levi_LAX, and Lacrosse Matrix podcast with Larson Sundown episode recently dropping.
Yes, definitely go check that out, Larson. And I know, Mike, you give me some flack for it, but Larson is one of those great, awesome guys of the National Lacrosse League who I'm a big fan of. But I think it's just objectively true that Larson is a fantastic, good human being and also very, very good at lacrosse. So happy to talk to him and excited to see him play a couple times this season in person in the next couple months.
I know the last game for Ottawa against Vancouver, he took 2 outside. Well, he scored 4 goals, and 2 of them were outside shots. I'm like, yo, if he adds that part to his game, besides just the alley-oops, I'm like, that dude's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his last 7 goals over his last 2 games, you can see the versatility that he's exhibiting on offense, which, to your point, shows exactly why he has become more of a threat in the National Lacrosse League. And with injuries like Riley O'Connor out, obviously they brought in Eric Fennell. You need guys like Sundown to give support to Jeff Teton. You'll hear on the podcast, the high praise that Larson gave to Jeff, and I'm sure Jeff is very equally happy to be playing with Larson.
One other thing I'll add about Larson Sundown interview with you is that it seemed like everyone wants everyone to succeed there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense why Jacob Dunbar is like right there with Jeff Teton points. Makes sense why Larson Sundown has a 4-goal game when Jeff Teton's on his team. It's really awesome to hear that stuff.
Yeah, and when I spoke to Jacob the other week, and I have an article that will be coming out within the next coming weeks on him for the National Lacrosse League Players Association, he did reiterate all of those things to me, that this was such an unselfish team and everyone has each other's backs. And that's the kind of locker room a coach wants to see. So positive signs, and it kind of speaks to the fact that they're having their best season as a franchise in franchise history.
Love me some good vibes. All right. You also, Preston has made his picks, correct?
He has, yes. He's now been doing it Friday mornings before school. It's been great. And thank you so much to the Albany Firewolves, Colorado Mammoth, and the Philadelphia Wings for gifting Preston some stuffed animals. Actually, it was Casey Ryan, a Colorado Mammoth fan, who gifted Preston the woolly stuffy. So really appreciate all those gifts, and they make an appearance in this video and will continue to make appearances as the season rolls along.
Find Preston's picks on officepooljunkie.com. I think the suckers got a 2-game lead on me. I missed last week. Who cares?
Yeah, and I see you almost won Who You Got this past week too. You were very, very good with your picks there. So
I missed one of those. I missed the first game, so I would have won. I'm very not happy about that, but whatever.
I hope you made your picks this week. There's still time if you.
Yes. All right, so week 9 only got 4 games, but it's not a terrible slate. 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow night. We're going to talk about them all right here. Got some late ones. First one at 9 o'clock, Rock at Roughnecks. Can the Rock make it 2 in a row, or will the Roughnecks Cinderella story continue?
Yeah, I mean the Cinderella cardiac kids, if you want to really give them a name, because they seem to love their comebacks and their overtime victories. They've already got 2 this season. I wrote about it in my By the Numbers Lacrosse Culture Daily piece that most overtime games I believe they played in a season is 6. So they are on pace right now to have 7 overtime games this season. So really, they love playing with fire there. They've impressed, I think, way more than people's expectations, which you got to love to see if you're a Calgary Roughnecks fan. But it is interesting now. The Rock are getting healthy again. We knew the time would come. And Mark Matthews out for the season, which sucks. But, you get Tom Schreiber back. You get T.D. Erlin back if you're a believer in faceoffs matter, which I think Evan Schemenauer actually brought back the statistic of the percentage numbers you need to win in order to have a better success of winning. And it was 60%. Teams are 21-10, I believe, when they win 60% of the draws. So having TD back is huge. So is this the beginning of the Rock that we expected them to see, even though they're not fully healthy yet? It's very exciting for the sport, for the league to see them healthy. So excited about that. I think it's going to be a great game. I think that the Roughnecks, because of these gritty wins, have a level of confidence now that can be very dangerous. And so I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle, a hard-fought Canadian battle, and it's a great way to kick off the week.
Yeah, of course. And Captain Baggy Shorts, Dane Dobie, is always ripping them. So it's like, anytime you got that guy, he's also, I never noticed this before watching, and maybe it's my fault, but watching him come out the back door on transition is like, how in the world are you doing this at that age, dude? Like, stop it.
He's one of the most driven guys out there on the floor, and that's always, guys hate playing against him because he gets really into it, sometimes a little too much, and it has bit him in the butt a couple times, but, that's why the Roughnecks love him, and he's always given that effort.
All right, 10 o'clock Eastern tonight. We're going to stay up for this one as well. Black Bears at the Warriors on Vancouver. I've said they infamously went over 5 on the power play last week in that Larson Sundown game. Is Vancouver going to come out this game at home and just pound them, or is Black Bears going to try it again?
They really need this win. I know Kurt Malosky was not happy the fact that they lost 2 games last weekend, especially in the way that they lost them, both close games, almost stormed back against Philadelphia. What an ending that was in that game. I don't remember a controversial ricochet off the shin review at the end of the game. Boy, oh boy, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, you can be sure that he has been hitting home the fact that they need a big win tonight, especially in front of their home crowd. The Warriors really using that home energy. They're one of only 3 teams left in the National Lacrosse League that is undefeated at home. The Buffalo Bandits and the Philadelphia Wings are the others. So people in Vancouver are showing up and getting excited about lacrosse, and they love playing. And Owen Grant, oh my goodness, that guy is unbelievable.
He's gross. Owen, I love how you mentioned the 2 heartbreaking games. One thing that frustrated me about Vancouver's offense is not just over 5 on the power play, but it feels like their team is so talented and too talented to almost like rely on Grant sometimes for those breakaway shots. I feel like when you have Keegan Ball, you have Sean Beatties, Ryan Martell, Kevin Colley, etc. It's like, guys, how are you not scoring in bunches every single game? It
Yeah,
frustrates me.
I think that it's really the when Owen scores, I'm not sure it's necessarily disrupting that offensive flow for those guys. However, I think it's a great point that they are so talented and so capable. And with Kurt Malosky on the bench there, they're definitely zoned in. And we're starting to see. I mean, Adam Charlambides had a phenomenal game against the Philadelphia Wings last week, and we've seen Keegan Ball heating up of late as well. And it's also nice to see those young guys, Jonathan Peshko and Peyton Cormier, uh, really heating it up too. I got to meet Peyton at the end of the Wings game last week. It was a pretty cool moment for me. People know me around the lacrosse world, and to see that Peyton's parents and Peyton himself were very excited to meet me as I was excited to meet him is pretty cool. It's a bit weird feeling like a mini celebrity, but getting used to it.
Yeah, same. I feel the same. Like when I'm on the show, like thanks for having me on. Like whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. One last point on Vancouver I was gonna make. I'm mad now, but I'll make it later if I figure it out. Oh, Kurt Malosky last year. Remember he had like the post game interview where he was kind of calling Keegan Ball out for like the offense. Like you can be like the best player in the world, and sometimes like he gets frustrated with him. So it's like I do hope Keegan Ball has a great game this weekend. It would really help the Warriors.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. And it's, to be honest, it's going to be tough for both offenses when you've got Aiden Walsh playing like he is and Zach Higgins, who was my IL indoor pick, preseason pick for goaltender of the year. He's making me look really good right now. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. It's going to be a great defensive battle and both solid veteran defenses too. I mean, a lot of young guys as well on that Warriors defense, but when you got Dilks, Beers, and Mitski on the back end there for the Warriors. They're doing everything they can to finish their careers off strong.
I hate mentioning this game again, but Callum Jones,
Mm.
is he still out? Do we know yet, or?
The injury report has not been released, but man, that's always a bummer if he is out. I love him. He's one of the great young defenders of this league. Just an absolute beast out there. So fearless. You gotta love him and the way he plays the game in so many facets. I just love him.
Yeah, I was going to mention him because Callum Jones versus Owen Grant would be amazing. All right.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Tomorrow night, a little bit earlier game, 7 o'clock Eastern, Mammoth at the Nighthawks. This game I kind of teased it on my LFG segments. I said it could be like offense, defense, one way or the other. It could be offense, offense. But these teams can play so many different ways. But if Rochester wants to win this game, their defense is playing well and Connor Fields is being efficient. So will Rochester pull off a upset here?
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, again, and I know you gave me the chance one of the other weeks to shout out Riley Hutchcraft. He had a phenomenal ending to that last game, and you look at his numbers right now. He is up there in the top of the league. He's most saves in the league, and then percentage wise up there as well. So he's been playing well, especially of late. You got to love to see that. And yeah, they need to play strong defensively because that offense is really, really talented, especially with Ryan Lanchberry having the season that he's having, to have that triple threat of Ryan Smith, Connor Fields, and Ryan Lanchberry. And then even Thomas McConvey, who has been a great contributor as well. They're always up there in terms of total shots per game. So having that defense and that goaltending stability is incredibly important. And it really does beg the question of when Hartley, which by the way, he has been upgraded to questionable for this game. So it'll be very interesting. But, Hutchcraft has, kind of earned some opportunities. And I feel like just because Hartley is healthy, you kind of at this point maybe got to wait until Hutchie has a couple of off nights to really take that away from him. I feel like it would be, although he would definitely do it. He's a huge team guy and would give Hartley that opportunity in a heartbeat. He would definitely, I feel has earned the ability to be the number one until he does it.
As we know, 79.4 save percentage, which is what probably Hutchcraft is at, is pretty stinking elite, no matter where it ranks anywhere in the NLL. 79 and up is absolutely nasty.
Yep.
With the Nighthawks, I believe it was Matt Gilray who recently signed the extension, right? The 2
Yep.
versus 3 years thing.
Yeah. So that was explained to me by Cody. It was Cody Jansen. I wish that the both the league and the team use the same language. So basically, what it is that he has signed a 2-year extension, but it's a 3-year deal. Why they would make it confusing like that is beyond me, but not surprised.
I love it. I love it. Finally, Firewolves and Rush. 8 o'clock. Last time these teams played, it was an overtime. I feel like the last time, because once the Rush said, "Hey, last time we were in Albany, it was an overtime winner," the Firewolves then kind of backhanded them and said, "Hey, last time we were in Saskatchewan, we had an overtime winner."
Yeah.
So these teams love to play those cardiac games we talk about. Alex Simmons was amazing last week,
Yep.
and I feel like if he's on it, boy, Rush. I feel like it's either if Zach Mans or Alex Simmons goes off, this game could come down to that because this is tough.
Yeah, I mean the Albany Firewolves defense is really beaten up right now. They've been missing Colton Watkinson, Jackson Nishimura, John Wagner, 3 key components of the defense there. So it sucks that they have not been healthy. But yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I hope it is. It was great to be in person for that one in Albany the first time around. Simmons is looking great. It was really a much needed fourth quarter for the Albany Firewolves, who have struggled quarter this season up to the last game. So it really shows that they are ready for a change. You could say that they are the best 2-5 team in the NLL right now. So they haven't been far away from being much better than they are in terms of their record. It's going to be very exciting, and I'll give you a little nugget, Mike, that Simmons, who's on pace for 108 points, he would be the only the second player in National Lacrosse League history to have 90-plus point years in his first 2 NLL seasons. I'm sure you can guess who the other one is. It is Jeff Teat.
Oh, come on. I was waiting for that. I love it though. It's funny. The Firewolves, Dyson Williams. I took a slice of humble pie because I've been a big Brandon O'Neill guy. Yep. But you made a tweet that like Dyson's up to second place in rookie points. And last time I checked, if I remember the stat correctly, Brandon O'Neill, who I thought had a caused turnover earlier in the year, they took that away. I believe Dyson has one now. So, oh, okay, then I see you.
Yeah, I mean, look, Brennan is looking great in the way that he's scoring the ball right now, and the way that he's improved game over game is phenomenal. But Dyson Williams definitely having a quiet, very nice rookie year. Maybe, again, not the rookie year that some expected him to have. And, I was very much part of the hype machine to make him to make him a superstar before he is maybe a superstar, but he will be a superstar in this league. I promise you that. But yeah, his assist numbers are on the uptick, and he's scoring goals with more frequency. It seems like he's getting more confidence out there on the floor. Takes the game incredibly seriously. I've gotten to a couple of Albany Firewolves games this year, and pregame, he's totally locked in. He's definitely hungry to really start having consistent, amazing games. And I think it's only a matter of time before that starts.
Yeah, God forbid a young guy is actually a little bit nervous to start his career. Like, who knew?
Especially with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Oh, yeah, it's tough. All right. We hope you enjoy your weekend. Are you going to any games this weekend?
No, I was thinking about going to Rochester earlier in the month, but the weather and everything has just made things really unpleasant. Even going to Philadelphia, everything is traffic's crazy, trains are delayed. It sucks being in minus 11-degree temperature. So staying home this weekend. So yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend of watching some lacrosse. Very excited. Preston will cuddle up on the couch with me for those games, hoping he has a perfect 4-for-4 week. So it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, make sure to check out that video, folks. We don't want to give anything away. And you talk about weather, you will love my our original that we have at the end of the show.
Yeah, and I did just want to bring up quickly, Mike. Let me see if I have it here. I'm not sure if you saw the comments by Jamie Dowick, more updated comments about the collective bargaining negotiations at this point. And, I put out a very pointed tweet, about his specific language. And, having heard from the players' side in particular, and, obviously I do some work for the National Lacrosse Leagues Players Association, but I like to be fair on both sides, but I think that Jamie maybe did himself a little bit of a disservice by saying, and I quote, their understanding of where the league is at. And I think that, part of the whole quote there, the players know as much as they know because that's as much as the league is willing to tell them. The players would love transparency and would love to know as much as the league is willing to share. But if the league is not willing to share a lot of information to put enough on the table to have fair negotiations, well, that doesn't really help a lot of things. It doesn't help build a good relationship, one for the future negotiations, but it also doesn't put anyone in a good position to make an honest and fair opinion on what to do.
It's funny. I've had like an hour to digest this now because I did read that like earlier to like see if you had any recent tweets that caught my eye. That one did. It's also pinned, so that helps. I was thinking about that, and what bothers me is I feel like the divide, and maybe I'm wrong, could be these guys are playing a sport and they still have to work on Monday through Friday. Like I feel like a good bit of them. So it's like, are hopefully I don't think they're asking for too much, but I feel like they would have to ask for enough to get compensated for that. But on the other side, the owners supposedly I've heard that there's the league is sacrificing more than they'd like to with the TSN deal up north, which I get it, but then it's like they gotta have an even ground there. You think, right?
Well, yeah, and I think ultimately what it comes down to is that both the league and the players need to put, as many cards as they can without showing too much on the table so everyone, can work from a fair and even space. And I think that the problem is that looks like that is not necessarily happening at the moment from both sides. And, that, when you are in a very important part in important time in league history where you need to have proper negotiations and agreements on the table so we're not missing games and things like that. It's important that they find a way to express everything that they need by with having the information that they need.
One last thing I'll say because I don't want to keep you too long here. And you only have to respond to this, but as a fan who doesn't understand what it's like to be a billionaire, it is frustrating. Not Jamie Dock, but seeing Joe Tsai have what he has at his disposal. I'll say not being able to give a little bit back to the players. I'm sure the Seals and Dogs are treated very fair, more than fairly, but it's also like the whole league could use like a nice investment. We got the PLL getting the Maybelline already involved with their women's lacrosse league. It's like, guys, come on, man, give us something here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that there's owners that have all different types of net worths, and so the amount that they can give or are willing to give, in some cases, they're a little bit more hamstrung than Joe Tsai. Everyone seems to love playing in San Diego and loves playing in Las Vegas. They seem to be treated very well, and I think that for everything, players aren't treated poorly by any owners. It's more that there's just some little things that they want, and finding a way, like you said, for them to get it. It's important that everyone is as happy as everyone can be.
Yeah, I think it'll work out. I'm on that mindset. The National Cross will work itself out. Hey, bonus content for myself and Adam with the Jamie Dowick comments that are updated. Thank you, sir, for that. And have a great weekend, by the way.
You too, man. It's always great joining you, and maybe I'll watch some games with you and Joe and Bigo this weekend. So that'll be fun. And thanks as always for having me. And again, just make sure you make those Preston's picks, everyone. Get them in. It's a tight battle at the top for those season tickets that are up for grabs. So definitely go make those picks. Preston is in the running. He's not too far behind to win it all. And wouldn't
I
that
told you.
wouldn't that be amazing if a 3-year-old beat dozens and dozens of adults at picking the sport that they've been watching for decades?
They're self-proclaimed experts, you know.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I think he might be doing better than I am. So, that's about.
Thank you, Adam, and have a great day and stay safe, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Adam Levi, everybody. See, that was fun. Bonus content. That should have been like an exclusive. Pay $1 to watch this thing, but we're gonna be all right. I would never do that to you guys. All right, when we come back to this awesome show, betting preview. There's some player props, by the way, from Bet365 and Coolbet Canada. We're going to talk about next. Don't go anywhere. I know you won't.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So because I didn't do this to start the show, let's do this now. The show is presented by tickets.12onsports.com. Tickets.numbers12letters.ozsports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less by going to that website, which includes every sport. Tickets.12onsports.com. Also, we have an audio-only podcast version of the show. Search Daily Dive on Spotify. All right. Let's get into a betting preview. Did I really not do this? I'm just going to have to use the old one, Producer Joe. I completely messed up and did not download the new one. It's okay. There's the hand. We love it. Okay. Betting preview for week number 9. I feel so bad about this. All right. There were some discrepancies here in the lines, and I'm not going to give you any of my leans because we're going to say that for the last segment here. But on Bet365, more on them in a minute here, Toronto versus Calgary is at 22.5. That is compared to 23.5 on every other book. So 22.5 versus 23.5 for Toronto versus Calgary. Ottawa versus Vancouver is at 20.5 on FanDuel and Bet365. Again, only 21 goals needed to hit the over. It's at 21.5 on other books. Keep that in mind. Our good friend Poutine Pat of OTCB Podcast and Cool Bet Canada did send us some props for tonight. I'm looking at the totals right here. 23 for the Rock and the Roughnecks. So it's about the middle ground. And the Black Bears and Warriors is at 21.5. So again, FanDuel and Bet365 having those at 20.5. If you like the over, try to get it there instead. Coolbet also has the Mammoth and the Nighthawks at 24 even. It's at 24.5 here in the United States, everywhere. And the Rush Spiral team is at 22 even. Those evens would make me so mad if I was in Canada doing Coolbet. I'll tell you what. All right, so you got some player props from Bet365 and from Coolbet Canada. So from Bet365, Chris Boucher's point total is at 4.5. On Coolbet, it's at 4. Take that as you will. I believe Bet365 might be in Canada too. I could be wrong though. Jesse King is also on Coolbet and Bet365. He's at 6 on Bet365 on Coolbet. He's only at 5.5 on Bet365. I like the under there. It's not going to be in my best bets, but I do like under 5.5 for Jesse King in that game. Ottawa and Vancouver. Keegan Ball is at a 4.5 on Bet365. He's at 5 even on Coolbet. And for Jeff Teat, he's at 6.5 on both. Keep that in mind. So you're not going to get anything special there. And finally, we got first player to score. This is cool. For the Rock and the Roughnecks tonight. You got Curtis Dixon at plus 675. Jesse King's at plus 10-1. That's interesting as well. And first to score for Black Bears and Warriors is Jeff Teat plus 525. Keegan Ball at plus 625. Very interesting stuff there. I love this stuff. I love the fact that we're getting all of these props, these player props, especially on Bet365, which is available in the United States. So that's awesome. Of course, Georgia, stuck in the Stone Age and the Bible times. It's fine. We get it. But yeah, those are some. I like those lines. Again, the 20.5 is very intriguing for Ottawa versus Vancouver. And I didn't really see a discrepancy in the spreads. I'll check those again here on Coolbet. Yeah, it's 1.5 for all these games. So we got a fun slate tonight and tomorrow night. So it's going to be awesome. All righty. When we come back to the show, where it's time for Mike and producer Joe's picks and best bets. And stay tuned, if you're into that kind of thing, for a new Daily Dive original that I'm allowed to air today. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up next.
Don't go anywhere. Daily Dive will be right back.
You need tickets to that next event? We've got them. That's right, tickets.12ozsports.com. Get you to any sporting event, concert, theater event that you can think of. And the promo code 12OZ or ROME get you an additional discount. Don't feed the massive ticket corporate machine. Go to tickets.12ozsports.com and enjoy the show. America, get back on track with Dust Pods Performance Stabilizer. When applied to roadways, it kills dust and strengthens the integrity of the road. Easily applied by mixing with water, Dust Pods is the future in polymer stabilization. Call 1-833-DUST-PODS or visit dustpods.com today.
What up, everybody? It's producer Joe, the baddest daddy in producing history, here to tell you all about the baddest, daddiest merch store. Go to the link tree in the bios of either our IG or Twitter, and from there you can access merch for the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. I repeat, the only Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the internet. We got hoodies for when your girl comes over and wants to cuddle. Just don't let her take it when she leaves. How about a Baddest Daddy cap for when you lie about how much you hate Mike in this show, but you're still here? We've got beanies so you can do that in the cold too. Guys, what's going to happen when all these moms see you dropping your kid off at practice in this thing? Want to sip like a daddy and feel like a baddie? Check out that mug. 6-time NLL champ Johnny T and savior of my Buffalo sports childhood knows what I'm talking about. Guys, I'm really going to need you to start buying shit because I'm getting sick of doing Instacart. But yeah, go check it out so you can start repping and supporting the brand. Producer Daddy out.
Daily Dive is back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tickets.12ouncesports.com. Get your National Lacrosse League tickets for less. I've now done that a million times. All right, it's time for Pick'em segments. Myself and producer Joe's picks and best bets. Again, we will have the updated graphics next week. Bazinga. All right, so I took a one-game lead on producer Joe. His throne/championship belt was short-lived. But he could tie this week, or I could take a two-game lead. We both have the Rock, we both have the Mammoth, and we both have the Firewolves. I've got the Warriors, as do Pat Gregoire and Teddy Jenner on their NLL picks. Producer Joe is the first man in America to pick the Black Bears. I think he's foolish, but he's also super close behind me, so it's not like I'm not going to slam on the brakes. He might rear end me. That sounded gross. Let's get into our best bets now. A lot of best bets here. We both like Toronto and Calgary over 22.5. Again, that discrepancy on Bet365 is good enough for me to take that. I like Jeff Teat under 6.5 points versus Vancouver. And that could be a defensive slugfest. And that's on Bet365, obviously. I like the Vancouver Warriors money line to beat the Black Bears. I almost went with a spread, but it's a best bet, and it's still plus money on Bet365. And, of course, I like Colorado and Rochester to go under 24.5. We might have to sweat that out a little bit, but I do like the idea of the Nighthawks playing good defense, and it's like a 13 to 11 kind of game. Just don't give me, if any team gives me 14, we're screwed. Producer Joe, who also has the same record of 11-12 as I do, after we had brutal week 8s. As I mentioned, he likes the Rock and Roughnecks over 22.5. He also is going to take the over 20.5 for the Black Bears and the Warriors, found on FanDuel. So that's awesome. It's also found on Bet365, those wondering. That's the best odds for it, is minus 115 on FanDuel. He also likes the Mammoth money line. I do think Mammoth will win, so I don't mind that pick at all against Rochester. And Albany versus Saskatchewan to go over 21.5. I believe that is the play on most books. It's minus 105 on FanDuel. Those of you that care, those of you that are risking your money on National Lacrosse League games. So you're welcome. All right. Usually I'll wrap it up with a bread and butter, but today we've got a Daily Dive original to debut. It's our second ever one. It's once again chopped up and carved up by Bobby Cox. We welcome him. We just want to say thank you for doing this for us. This video has historical significance because in Savannah, Georgia area, which is where I am in Guyton, it never snows. It never snows. But God forbid if the South and global warming, and who else you want to blame or give credit to this, if this did not make it happen. It's still sticking outside. But what was it like for me when it was coming down? And it was like me seeing it for the first time. Well, good thing for you, you have the video documenting such events. Stay tuned for Mike versus the Snow, airing right now on Daily Dive, and of course being uploaded later to our YouTube page. So here it is. This is actually crazy. I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, I'm 28, I've been here since I was like 4 years old. I don't think I've ever seen something like such a white snow as this before. Like, this is within a couple hours. This is crazy. How are we feeling? I don't think people realize how monumental this is for the Savannah, Georgia area. This is crazy. What a time to be alive. My favorite part is when the snow starts to pick up. Like right here, you can really see it falling. Oh man. Greatest day ever, man, I'm telling you. Greatest day, greatest night. So as I sit here on this picnic table and just take this all in, it got me thinking as I listened to the snow fall. I also am finding out this NLL hoodie from Fanatics is very warm. I am not wearing a shirt underneath of here for reasons I will disclose at a further time, but this is nice. My left hand is fine. My right hand, the tips of my fingers are pretty cold right now, which is why I ultimately went inside. Oh yeah, this is cold. It's like 21 degrees. Oh, step down. 21 degrees right now or so. It is Thursday at like not even 8 o'clock in the morning. It's supposed to melt and like this afternoon, it's supposed to start melting all the snow. You see how deep my feet are getting? I'm gonna miss it. It's been a fun ride. Oh, wait. This stuff is actually deeper than I anticipated. Nothing will ever beat this crunch. Don't you love it? I mean, it's 32 degrees or whatever, but it's gonna melt. It's gonna melt. Let's pull back into the old driveway. It is pretty though. Most snow we've ever seen in this part of Georgia. For those that do not know, I thought it went well, but you ever seen like those Apple commercials where it's like shot on iPhone? Yeah. Thank you. I love you guys. Producer Joe helped me out with that, but yeah, I thought it was fun. We went way over time today, so Roku, I'm sorry. You're gonna like kind of jump into the next thing here, but it's a Friday, so who cares, right? Thanks so much for watching today's awesome show. Reminder, you are the bread, you're the butter, you are the what is this to my snow experience. So thank you for watching. For those that come on the show as a guest, like Adam Levi today, like Pat Gregoire, who's still able to comment, we appreciate him. Among others, thank you for sharing your audience and platform with us, giving us validity and relevance. For Bigo, who's always tapping it up on social media and other things, and of course, the baddest daddy in producing history, who's always like, "What, like, dude? I'm used to the snow." Producer Joe. I'm your host, Mike. So you have a great rest of your day. We will see you Monday, same time, same place on Sports. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.
Thanks for watching Daily Dive. See you next time.